The music is still playing. Sorry about this, folks. Well, first of all, we want to welcome you to this session. And this morning's session is extremely important. As a matter of fact, Tammy and I always try to create an environment, and we've been doing this for years and years and years as we've been building our organization, is we try to create an environment where everyone can have the right tools to build their businesses. And make a long story short, we understand that there are some changes that are coming in, and really good changes. The good news is all the software is running really, really nicely. The app for the phone device, for the Android device, for the PCs, and for the Macs, and all of this is actually fantastic. It is faster, it is upgraded, and it's just so much coming in with that. But on top of this, to put the cherry on the cake, is the compensation plan has been enhanced. And that is such an important element because people tend to react to an environment that will where they can help see the vision, the possibilities. So before we begin, I think it's important that we recognize some of the comers that are here today. Tammy, you want to go ahead and do that?
Absolutely. Okay. Well, I'm not on YouTube, Chris, but on Zoom. I just want to say happy Saturday, everybody, and welcome. Evans, welcome. And we have Esther from Ghana. We have Lou in California, or sorry, North Carolina. And who else do we have here? We have Gitano from UK. Welcome. Johnny, welcome from the UK. This is great. Kevin, welcome from Utah. Awesome. Robert, welcome. Kelly from New York, welcome to the session today. This is such an important training session. Mark in the US, welcome. Peter, welcome. Who do we else have? Because there's some repeated stuff here. We have Tim from South Carolina, welcome. We have Raymond, and of course, Randy, our guest speaker today. Super excited to hear what he has to share. So much experience in the industry, and it's always a pleasure to partner with people who have a lot of experience and to learn from them. Humble yourself and learn, always, always, always. So there's many people that are still coming in. Chris, do you want to get started? Do you want to recognize some people on YouTube maybe?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, folks, you can actually go to the Global Virtual Opportunity YouTube channel, and you'll notice there that we actually are live. And let me just confirm all of this here. Yeah, we are. And by the way, if you happen to be catching in this video on a later date or right now, feel free to click the like button, right? The thumbs up button. And the reason is the algorithm of YouTube tend to show this information to more people. And this is exactly what the goal here is this morning or afternoon or evening, depending where you're located in the world. Now, today we're very, very, very fortunate. And one of the reasons for that is we have a really seasoned networker that many of you have heard of before. I know you've saw his video before. I know we're going to share with you an update here today, but we wanted to do a one-on-one or two-on-one, if we say be more specific, interview. So you guys can hear in real time what are the reasons that these changes are occurring, and what's the logic behind all of this. And just before I introduce him, let me just grab on to his bio here. And here it is. There we go. I have a few slides and a few things, a few monitors. It's the way I like to work. Yeah. So if you see my head turns around, it's because I'm looking at what I'm looking for on the monitors. So folks, Randy, he is actually from Louisiana. And he's married to a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful lady by the name of Anne. They're like Tammy and I. They do this together as a couple. He graduated from LSU. He's been married for over 35 years. Congratulations, Randy. This is phenomenal, phenomenal. He has 3 sons. He's been self-employed for over 39 years. I mean, we can relate to that. We can self-employ ourselves for over 28 years. achieved the highest achievement, #1 rank share in the business, many of the businesses that he has in advertising, electronic receivables, integrated software, medical consultation, 32 years in MLM, multi-level marketing, folks. He's never quit the MLM industry despite several failures, which we can all relate to. He holds to 2 long MLM royalties. He built 2 large organizations. I mean, I can relate to that too. And that's why we're very, very excited for you to hear from Randy. He's obviously currently involved in GBU, and this is exactly what we're here for, to talk about all of that. He's received an MBA level certification in network marketing under Charles King at University of Chicago. I don't know if you've heard of some of Tim Sell's videos. He talks about where there's a class in network marketing, right? This is really interesting. And he just loves traveling. So Randy, it's a real pleasure to have you here with us. Let me just bring you up here. It's a real pleasure to have you with us. And thank you for taking the time and the patience and, dealing with these questions and kind of opening up your heart. So really appreciate to have you here with us.
Oh, well, good morning, Tammy, Chris. Thanks to be a part of, the forum here this morning. It is going to be a fun day.
I totally agree. Listen, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? I know I share your bio a bit, but can you tell us about yourself and why you decided to join God Backup? I think some folks might be curious about that.
Well, my wife, Ann, and I are serial entrepreneurs. We've built, bought, sold, merged all kinds of businesses and such. We really, we love putting puzzles together is the best way I can describe the way in which we run our lifestyle and such. But it was interesting because we stumbled upon Got Backup by total accident. We're actually in the middle of evaluating a technology platform and ended up stumbling across a little 2.5-minute video. And I'd always shared with everybody that the ideal business, would be something that would be super simple, that would have a product or a service that would not just be in demand, but people had to buy it, and they would be forced to spend more and more money on it and have no price objections and have a global footprint. And just so happened, in over 39 years of self-employment, those 4 traits never came together at one time and such. But it was interesting because at the end of watching that little 2.5-minute video, sitting in the chair that I'm sitting in right now, it was interesting because it made me reflect going back to 1997, because that's the last time that I actually saw an instant value proposition delivered by a network marketing company. And that's really important, because I know that back in 1997, I was part of the inner circle, sat on the board for the company that actually held the foundational patents to voice over internet protocol, and we created a frenzy. And so lo and behold, that is what brought my forward story to connect with Got Backup.
That's really exciting. And thank you for sharing this. Now, I know that change, good or bad, is always sometimes could come as a bit of a challenge, right? And the reason I'm asking you this is exactly, some folks, some people fear change, but change is good, especially as time are evolving. We know today we started dealing with the biggest reset when it comes to economy, and that has impacted everything based on everything we've been exposed to. And for that reason, I know that change is necessary. So why did the compensation plan change, and what are the reasons for the change? Like, what is it that you feel, what are your thoughts in reference to the change and why?
First and foremost, change is just a part of our overall evolution. It's kind of like when you get your first gray hair, or, you got to wear readers or something along those lines. Change is just inevitable and such. And the same goes true in business. You have to stay ahead of the curve. You've got to stay ahead of what may be potential competition. You want to be able to, always be, whittling away at improvement. And, the merits of Got Backup and the intentions of, the initial compensation plan that we've, operated under, it's honorable, to say the least. Very honorable and such. But as you sit back and you start to reflect, we always want to be able to sharpen that blade. And in sharpening that blade, knowing that the allocation that Joel and his team have provided us of 75%, we wanted to make sure, that those points were allocated in the best manner possible to be able to, allow the company to mature. Keep in mind, this company has an amazing history on the affiliate side of things, with relationships that are global and such. But moving into network marketing, the one thing that network marketers can do is they build relationships, they build teams. And as a result, there are things that have performed extremely, extremely well in this compensation plan, and those things are going to remain. They're actually going to get better. And it just so happens that some of the things that, that the blade needed sharpened were the things that we actually addressed.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Tammy, you want to address question number 3?
Absolutely. So you've been on already right after the announcement of, actually it was on the announcement, you were on with Joel talking about the new changes with the comp plan. I'm super excited, to be honest with you. When I first saw it, it was like Chinese for me. It was like another language that I've never learned. But after 2-3 times, it just sunk in. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. We got more and more excited. So in the presentation, you did mention the 4 benchmarks. So what are those benchmarks again for the people? I mean, there's a lot of new people that are joining every day, so they haven't even heard it yet.
And everybody comes from different walks of life, Tammy. I mean, there's all different levels of experience, but the very first time you see anything that's new to you, anything that might be a little bit of an alteration, in turn, it's going to look like a foreign language. You'll kind of hear me say that repetitively when you watch the video, because it's true. Even the most sharp experts that have built compensation plans in network marketing, the very first time they look at something, it's going to look like a foreign language. You got to take a little time, let it sink in, maybe take a deep breath, step back, come back forward, and study it. And so it's very important, though, is to not get lost in all the details. That is a mistake that sometimes network marketers make, is they don't realize this is a simple industry. And the more simple you keep it, the more effective you're going to be. And so in constructing this compensation plan, you always want to be able to have something that you can teach and train others that are very simple baby steps. And that's how we constructed this plan. And so with those benchmarks, they become key. Because if anybody has been around for the last 30 days since we talked about the benchmarks and hasn't deployed them, they're going to wish, when we run our first commission run, that they had and such. So it's kind of like that happy, happy, happy feeling. So speaking of the 4 benchmarks, very simple. The board came up with a brilliant idea of having a core rank called copper. We want to make copper simple. And it's as simple as it gets. You actually personally enroll somebody, you place them on your left side team, and then you place them on your right side team. That's the first benchmark. The second benchmark is do it again. Just repeat 1 left and 1 right. Help those people that you personally enroll begin to replicate that process so that you see an enrollment tree grow to 25 or greater, but never, ever, ever stop sharing the story. So get yourself to 10, 15, 20 or more personal enrollments. Those 4 benchmarks are key and can be replicated by anybody, regardless of the skill set, because we're doing everything by sharing videos to do the work for us.
In fact, I'm glad you bring this up.
I love simplicity.
Yeah, totally agree. And in fact, at the end of this, the interview session, we'll have a little video for you to have some visuals. So please don't worry about the fact that you're a visual person, and I certainly can relate. Thank you very much, Randy, for that. Question number 4, before I address this, so folks, I know some of you have raised your hand. We're not gonna answer question in real time here. Otherwise, it becomes a little chaotic. But here's what you can do. There is a question button on the bottom of your screen. And if you click on that, I've noticed here, Jazania has posted a question here. Can we have the recording immediately after the webinar, please? Absolutely, we will. In fact, the recording is right now in real time on YouTube. So I just shared a link in our Telegram group. You can grab that link and share it right now. They can watch it in real time, or if they missed it, whenever they click on it, it'll just replay the video. And I'm also recording that session. So question number 4 is, at one point, you've mentioned the very best of the best of all MLM bonuses all in one plan. Can you expand on that a little?
Well, one of the things that I learned, very early in life, my parents were entrepreneurs, and my grandparents as well, and such. And it's very interesting because the number one asset we all have in life is our relationships. It doesn't matter whether it's business, athletic, spiritual, academic, whatever it is. Relationships are the biggest asset we have. And over time, one of the things that I learned is never throw a name away. And over time, these relationships actually made a contribution to our compensation plan, because one of the things that I did is, and if I showed you the document, it would probably make your head spin, the spreadsheet that I built. But, I had dialogue with individuals that, have owned network marketing companies and have been executives with network marketing companies, lead distributors, influential distributors, people that have been around the block in this industry. And very candidly, I would ask them questions about, what are the things that make your business go in the compensation plan? What are the things that you would keep no matter what? What are the things that you would try to flush if you could possibly flush them? And what was interesting is there was a lot of commonality. And when you start to look at the most responsible companies over the last 10, 15, or 20 years, you're going to find that the things that they have in common that work for them are pretty generic across the industry. And then the things that really they wish that they could flush are also pretty common as well. But the challenge that most of them have is they have a certain limited amount of business volume that they can actually apply towards a compensation plan, because most companies are not the originator of their product or their service. And we're fortunate, Got Backup is. And because we're the originator, it enables us to be able to have points that are available. And so what we've been able to do is be able to take the things that function so well for other companies and left on the sideline the things that don't function well. And we placed them all into one package. And I don't know that this has ever happened before in network marketing. We're very, very blessed and fortunate to be able to see this come together.
And that was the
That's
purpose for that
powerful.
question. Yeah, that was the purpose for that question, Randy, is Tammy and I have been in the industry for a long time. I know I've been in the industry for over 28 years full time. It's actually more than that if you look at the part-time days. And there's always been deficiencies and some good things. And there's always a great thing on this plan and a great thing that this company has and a great thing this company has. And we have the luxury of having all the bells and whistles and even more. It's all part of this plan. And I think people need to understand how significant that is. Those of you that are here right now, that are just getting started, who have been with Got Backup for the past 25 years, you are so fortunate to be here right now. This is going to explode. Again, a service that everyone needs, everyone can afford, combined with a compensation plan that is going to be the envy of the industry. You are in for one wonderful ride. So again, that's the purpose of these questions, to bring out some of the important points. So Tammy, you go ahead.
Yeah, so Chris was saying Got Backup for 25 years. It's Global Virtual Opportunities. It's the parent
That's
company.
correct. Thank you for correcting me.
Yeah, and Got Backup is a new division that we're all hearing about. And so it's a little over a year now. And we just started. That's the best part, is we're just kind of figuring things out and just getting started. So you're in the right seat. So this is a time to really, really run with this. And I love what you've pulled from all of this, Randy. It's phenomenal. I've never been big in understanding the I guess the mechanics of the comp plan. I've always focused on the basics, which over time everybody hits the ranks. But it's brilliant what you've done in the back end, working with Joel and the team, and thanks again to the team, because without you and them putting this together, we wouldn't be so excited. Wait until July hits, you guys. I mean, I'd be running right now. Now that you know what Randy just shared with you on the benchmarks, go make this happen. You're going to be blown away.
I agree. And the fifth question is, what are the elements from the original plan, the one you currently have, will remain in the enhanced compensation plan, Randy?
So, the core, the basis of any business, and specifically our business, is to acquire users of the Got Backup products and services, whether it's the cloud storage, the VIP, enterprise solutions, and anything else that Joel and the team come up with, in the future. It's about the acquisition of people using our product. And so, when you sit back and you reflect upon that, and then you combine the efficiency of the product that is led, as Joel has shared with us many times, is a retention rate over 93%. We know that the incentive that's out there to do customer acquisition is very real, and very powerful. And so that 200% on that first month, that 50% they're paying annually on the cloud storage, that 25%, whether somebody's subscribing to VIP or it's a new enterprise solutions customer, that all remains. And that's important for it to remain. And one of the reasons for that is we're going to build a business that's based off of real distribution, sound fundamental principles, not promotional activity, not selling upfront packages just to justify a new version, a new, profit center in the compensation plan, because the merits of what the product can or cannot do that other companies experience, that's not our story. Our story is a real product that has immediate value for people, and it's affordable for everybody. And so knowing that that retention rate is in place, it enables us to be able to keep that train cooking on that part of the plan. Then when it comes to, calculating cycles, Chris, you've mentioned this on almost every single broadcast where you've talked about the compensation plan, how most companies that use a two-team structure, some of them are binaries and such, they just pay strictly a percentage on the lesser leg revenue. That's not the case here. What we do is different. And it's different because we look at actual active sales on the left side, active sales on the right side. We look for 4 on one side, we look for 2 on the other. It creates a cycle. Well, one of the key benefits of doing that, and in working within a budget, when you do the calculation, it allows you to not worry about an income ceiling. One of the businesses that, that Ann and I built had an income ceiling based off of your cycle earnings. We don't have that here. And the reason we don't is because everything is budgeted. It's allocated the way in which a real business does, as opposed to kind of, throwing the dice in the corner and see what numbers come up, okay, and such. That's not the way that it is here. We're running a business and we're acting like a business responsibly. And so those are 2 very key things, that front end in customer acquisition and the way in which we calculate cycle bonuses. Very important.
Brilliant. Now, number 6, I know we touched on it on, I think it was on number 3, in reference to the benchmark. And folks, keep in mind that as Randy's going to be sharing, we are going to be playing a video, so you'll have a visual here. But again, what are the 4 benchmark, referring to what you talked about earlier? You mentioned, what are the areas? As you know, Tammy and I are big on focusing on co-rank, are big on focusing on the duplication, and what are the things that needs to be duplicated. So if you can expand on, maybe the 4 benchmark that are related to what needs to be duplicated.
Well, the very first thing is, you need to be active with a subscription. And, to be an active reseller here, it requires one of 2 things. You either have an active subscription yourself, or you pick up a pure customer that has an active subscription with Got Backup. One of those 2 things makes you active in the plan. And so what you're looking to do is, when you focus on those benchmarks, make sure you have an active person on your left, an active person on your right. You're the personal enroller of both. That enables you to become copper. Then from there, you're going to duplicate that. You're going to do it again. And you're going to see why you want to do that again. All the way up to the highest rank in the company, you're going to see, that one of the qualifiers is your placement strategy, and it's no more and no less than 2 on the left and 2 on the right. So I'm letting the cat out of the bag here a little bit and such. Then you move into the 3rd benchmark. Work with your people. Help them share the story. Support their efforts. And in turn, helping them get 1 left, 1 right. Then help them do it again. So they have 2 left and 2 right. And before you know it, you're going to actually see that enrollment tree grow to 25 or greater. And that's really key, because one of the most powerful pieces of our compensation plan is going to reward those people that build a team of at least 25 or greater. And then you move into the 4th. Never stop sharing the story. I always share with people that the magic in this industry comes down to this little penny. Sits on the left side of my desk and such. Place pennies on one side of your desk. Don't end your day till you've moved the pennies to the other side. Every penny represents somebody new that you have shared the got back up story with. Very simple. Just share the 2.5 minute video and never ever stop. And you're going to find that that fourth benchmark of having 10 or more personally enrolled, it's going to be real, and you'll blow right through it when you get in the habit of moving your pennies.
Absolutely brilliant. Folks, we have 138 people on Zoom. We have another 32 right now on live. So this is fantastic, folks. And I'm really, really, really excited, folks. I know what's coming. I know what's coming. I know you're getting a feel for what's coming. And folks, I know that some of you, for example, here, Tim, there might be a bit of discomfort in reference to understanding the compensation plan. Don't be alarmed about this, folks. If you don't understand the plan fully, I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. What matters, you understand the simple building block, which we'll share the video in a minute, the simple building block that you need to duplicate. And by doing that, everything will fall into place. I'm talking from experience. Tammy, can you do cover 7?
Absolutely. So I just want to share, I love the penny story. I love that. I mean, that is a perfect visual on getting things done every day. Just set your pennies on one side and you just move them over. Every time you talk to somebody new, just move the pennies over. If there's no pennies moved over, you know what you gotta do, right? It's a simple thing. So what do you believe will happen to everyone's income after the upgraded plan is implemented? After I saw it, I was super excited, because we know we've all put the work in at the very, very beginning. So now you can still run with it.
Well, one thing I learned very early in life, and especially in this industry, Tammy, is the only thing that motivates people that are not naturally motivated is fear of loss. And for those people that aren't focused on the benchmarks, or they procrastinate getting focused on the benchmarks, I promise you, fear of loss is going to creep in. Okay. And what's interesting about that is it is a key component to this compensation plan. And so when fear of loss sets in, all of a sudden what happens is it's kind of like, you have a choice in life. When your back is against the wall, you can either crawl in the fetal position or you can come out fighting like a tiger. Okay. And I promise you, there's going to be a lot of tigers that are going to emerge that we haven't recognized just yet, because the story is going to get out. And so, those people that are engaged and they're consistent with their effort, and they do the basic things every day. They move their pennies. They do a little personal development. They make sure they get their devices backed up, and they plug into what I call the secret sauce. Never miss any of the events. Never miss Joel on Wednesday. Never miss the two of you presenting on Friday morning, or the trainings on Saturday. The other things that your teammates and your other support mechanisms do. What happens is, if you are engaged and you have your teammates engaged, that's the secret sauce. That's what causes, replication. It causes education, because you're using the concept of leverage. And you're going to see that happen. And when, as you see more and more of that happen, all of a sudden, the comp plan, you'll see it function in a very brilliant manner. And so I am confident we're going to share a story here relative to compensation, and the stories that people will share from stage one day, or they'll share on these Zooms, is going to be nothing short of compelling. I'm confident that those people who are consistent with their effort, and they acquire users, and they share the story, and they do the team building, and they align with those 4 benchmarks, that short-term and long-term, we're going to impact a lot of lives in a very positive manner.
I just love the sound of that. I just love the sound of that. One of the reasons I'm so motivated about network marketing, I know that may sound cliche a little bit, but I'm so passionate in helping folks earning an income. It's always been a passion. And of course, we're not blind to the benefits that we get. There's no question there. It's network marketing, but it's an environment that we can help each other thrive. And this is what I love about what we have. But something that's really important, the last question I'd like to ask you, Randy, here, which is, I think, really, really important. What's the importance of our field being compliant? Because we understand that the FTC is out for blood. And we have to be careful how we go about things. And there's going to be some amazing stories, folks, that's going to happen here for some of you that are taking this seriously. And even some of you that are doing this on a part-time basis, you may see some amazing things. You have to be careful how your word, your opportunity, and the income that will be generated. So I'm going to turn this over to you, Randy.
This is one of the most critical elements of being a mature company, is being compliant and making sure that the education comes to the very front for the field and understanding how important it is for them to be compliant. You'll see a slide in the video that I share about the things that the company is going to do and the things that the company is not going to do. And so as the company does, so should the field. It's important to understand your policies and procedures. Matter of fact, Eve and Joel and I had a lengthy conversation a few days ago talking about some measures that certain companies have taken, some that actually beat the political, attack on their companies, in the network marketing arena, and how they actually beat the FTC and how they were guided to beat the FTC and such. And I'm not here to say that they're an evil organization. That's not the case. But you got to protect this house. Mm-hmm. You have to. Okay. There's no reason to make income claims. Yes, we're going to have people who are going to make money. We have people right now making money. But, flashing checks and standing on stage, none of that works. It doesn't work.
True.
You share the story about customer acquisition, what the product can do, and along the way, the rewards of the compensation plan are going to creep in for you. Understand, there's always somebody who's filming you. There's always somebody taking a picture. I don't care if you're on a Zoom or you're sitting, on a park bench somewhere. Somebody has a camera going on at all time. We live in this electronic age and such. And so be responsible. If you're sponsoring people, be a responsible sponsor and such. And you're going to see the company, is likely to take a step to make sure that from top to bottom, from the very beginning, that we're educating people and we ensure that they understand the importance of being compliant. I'm not going to spill the beans. We'll let Joel, share that as to a step the company's going to take. But it is important that we lock arms and we protect this house.
I totally agree. Thank you for sharing that. And I also want to recognize Joel, Eve, and Mike. Without these guys, this wouldn't be possible. This company wouldn't be here. This opportunity wouldn't be here. The openness and willingness to listen and apply changes for the better good, the better environment. This is great leadership. And I wanted to just share how grateful I am for Joel and Eve and Mike. This is absolutely fantastic. So Randy, I'm pretty much ready to share the video that you did here. It's about 20 minutes. Was there anything else that you would like? I know there's a few questions here, folks. Before I address some of those questions, why don't we just go and play the video? But Randy, I want to give you an opportunity to share a few last words before I go ahead.
The video is going to be very self-explanatory. And, just as Tammy said earlier, and I'll reiterate, everything tends to look like a foreign language at first. You're going to see a bonus that I'm extremely thrilled about because I know what the impact can be and such. And one of the things that you'll find is that as a company grows deep, fear of loss causes it to grow wide. And that's going to be experienced by those people who understand, when we get into income centers number 6 and 7 and such. But I think the best thing is for everybody to, sit back, relax, embrace the moment.
Okay, just one moment. Okay, if you're not hearing the sound, please let me know.
Welcome to the introduction of a Got Backup compensation plan. My name is Randy Ostrom. I reside in New Orleans, Louisiana, in the United States of America, and I am thrilled to be able to introduce you to such a compelling form of compensation. Let's dive in.
What's going on here?
Okay. And before we get too deep, let's consider a few key thoughts. All plans are going to look like a foreign language to the experts as well as the novices upon their very first review. Simple plans do not always mean better plans. Our primary focus is acquiring Got Backup product users as either customers or as resellers. There's a 75% allocation. That's unheard of, extremely powerful for us to be able to put into play here at Got Backup. So don't sweat the details. Focus on the benchmarks. They're far more important than the details. So what are those 4 benchmarks? Well, think of the word copper. Just repeat it. Copper, copper, copper. The first benchmark is where you're going to enroll one person on your left, one person on your right. That will allow you to hit the copper rank. The second benchmark is to repeat that same step. So you would have 2 on your left, 2 on your right. The third benchmark is to build a user enrollment tree of 25 or greater. How do you accomplish that? By assisting those teammates to hit copper in addition to yourself. And the fourth benchmark is to personally enroll 10 or more users. Teach duplicating these 3 benchmarks to all of your teammates. Let's break this down. Benchmark number 1, hitting the copper rank yourself. The first point is you must be active. Active means that you are a personal user of the Got Backup subscriptions, or you personally have enrolled 1 or more customers that are users. Everybody's got to be current on their subscription. And then we focus on the enrollment. 1 to your left team and 1 placed to your right team. In benchmark number 2, we're just repeating the copper process. So you have 2 that you've personally enrolled on your left and 2 that you've personally enrolled on your right, with everybody being active. Benchmark number 3, build a user enrollment tree of 25 or greater. How are you going to do that? Teach and assist your teammates to reach copper. But it's important to understand that we have 2 different types of trees. One is an enrollment tree. The other one is a 2-team tree. The enrollment tree are those people that you enroll, the people they enroll, the people they enroll, and so forth. Whereas the 2-team tree is the user enrollment tree that you've created and your teammates have created, plus any spillover that may have occurred from other members of your sales organization. Let's look at this graphically. On the left side of your screen, you see yourself with blue arrows pointing at those people that are users that you've personally enrolled. Some of them are customers, some of them are resellers, but they're also users. And you can see underneath that they have enrolled people and their people have enrolled people. That would represent your user enrollment tree. You want to get that to 25 or greater. The image on the right is your 2-team tree. It would include everybody from your user enrollment tree that are resellers, but it's also going to include those that spill into your organization if you do receive that. Now, spillover is not guaranteed, but from time to time, people do receive spillover. Benchmark number 4, personally enroll 10 or more product users. Assist everybody to teach the 3 other benchmarks every single time that you enroll somebody new. Now, before we go forward, remember, this is a powerful plan. We need to talk about an income disclosure statement, critically important. The company's going to take all steps, short-term and long-term, to be compliant. The company's not going to make income claims. They're not going to publish income models. They're not going to create theoretical examples. They're only going to provide accurate, factual calculations. They're not going to publish a reseller's overall income. So as the company does, so should the field. Now, you will find the company will publish an income disclosure statement on our site. It'll be on the outside time frame, maybe 18 months, because it'll be an audited document once we have 12 months of data from this compensation plan. So at that point in time, we will rely on the income disclosure statement, and we will be required to share that with every reseller candidate. But in the meantime, rely on the company produced collaterals, and for now, this specific video. Remember, this is powerful, a payout allocation of 75%. Here's the Got Backup comp plan. It exists completely on this one specific slide. We're going to break this down to make it easy to interpret. Income center number 1 are your customer acquisition bonuses. Remember, that is the focus of what we do. So the very first month that we have personally enrolled a customer or a reseller who actually buys the Got Backup cloud storage product, there's a 200% commission on that monthly fee, 50% on the $99.97 annual. Any other product, VIP, Enterprise Solutions, and other future offer subscriptions, it's 25%. Let me pause for a second and point this out. These customer acquisition bonus percentages are like getting a year's worth of a bonus off of the very first month that a payment has been processed for any of these products. Then the customer acquisition bonus on customers only, people that are not resellers, they're just users of the product, they did not pay the $20 one-time reseller fee, is 25% on all your personally enrolled and their subsequent orders. Income Center number 1 has proven to be powerful. It will continue to be powerful. As we advance, it's important to understand that Got Backup provides a 2-team user bonus plan. We pay all team bonuses on users from both the left and the right teams. We have 7 bonuses we're going to introduce you to that create income from users on both the left and the right teams. Let's break down Income Centers number 2, 3, and 4. Income Center number 2 are your Tier 1 cycle bonuses. Those participating in Tier 1 would be those that hold the active rank of copper, silver, or gold. And a cycle bonus is created, as we do currently, with 4 sales on one team, 2 sales on the other. That triggers a cycle bonus. The great thing about doing a calculation this way is there's no income cap because everything is budgeted and allocated for this specific bonus. The same thing with Income Center number 3, which is your Tier 2 cycle bonuses. Those that hold an active platinum rank or a higher rank above platinum participate in the Tier 2 cycle bonuses. Same way of calculating a single cycle, 4 sales in one team, 2 on the other. The result, though, is higher cycle bonuses in Tier 2 than what those would experience in Tier 1. No income cap again, because it's all budgeted. Income Center number 4, a cycle match bonus schedule. You begin to participate and earn cycle matches once you achieve the Sapphire rank or higher. The cycle match bonus is where you earn from the earnings of your personally enrolled, what they earn in their cycle bonuses, either in Tier 1 or in Tier 2. The great thing is you could earn up to $20,000 monthly off of each reseller that you personally enroll and their earnings from the cycle bonuses. This is awfully compelling, but let's move forward. Income Center number 5, rank bonus pools. These are bonus pools, revenue sharing bonus pools that are equally split amongst all of those other resellers that achieve the same rank. It begins by achieving the Sapphire rank or higher. The company's going to set aside 9% of its overall collected revenue. It's going to divide that into 9 1% revenue sharing pools. 1% for Sapphire, 1% for Emerald, Ruby, Diamond, the whole way up to Black Diamond. They each get 1%. And those that have an active achieved rank of those specific different ranks will split equally that 1%. Thus, our bonus pools will never be diluted the way that they are in many compensation plans. Let's now move into new territory. Why is it that we can do the prior 5 profit centers and still be able to do the next 3? Again, a 75% allocation, unheard of in the industry of networking. All plans, as a reminder, they look like a foreign language to the experts and to the novices. So we go into Income Center number 6, generational bonuses. Generational bonuses where you could actually earn income up to 10 generations in depth and unlimited generations in width. To begin benefiting by the generational bonuses, this would be inclusive of those that reach the active gold rank or a higher rank and all the revenue that comes out of any generation. It's inclusive of paying out on both your right and your left legs, including any and all spillover revenue. You will find that while the percentages are not published in this specific grid or on this video, all 10 generations will have an equal percentage that is allocated for payout amongst every single one of the generations. So let's take a look at this specific image. You can see it's a bit lopsided. See how one leg is significantly bigger than the other leg. So have you ever heard, if you've been a part of a company that's got a two-team structure, have you ever heard somebody say, well, so what? I got this big leg. I'm not getting paid on the big leg. The question you ask yourself is this you? So what if you were a gold? You might get paid on all or much of that big team, including the spillover, by hitting the gold or a higher rank. This is why the 25 or greater user enrollment tree benchmark number 3, is key, because it will allow you to now start earning bonuses on generations of gold or higher ranks. This becomes a very clear path to reliable, dependable income. So as we go back to the image, yes, we still see a very large leg on the right side of your screen as you face the screen, but now you've built yourself up into a gold rank. And yes, you've contributed to both the right leg, and you've contributed maybe more to the left leg, but you worked your way up to gold. That now allows you to start earning on generations of gold or higher ranks. This is awfully compelling, to say the least. So to assist all of you, to make it really simple, we're going to provide for you a grid, a tracking grid that you can put your name in. You'll see the terms in the small print up top on what it takes to achieve gold. You'll place the people that you personally enroll along the top, and then underneath them, the people that maybe they've enrolled, the people that they've enrolled, and such, so you can track exactly what it takes to reach gold. And as an example, we will also provide you this specific illustration of a grid where an individual would have done what was necessary to achieve the gold rank. This will be very self-explanatory, but focus on that first, second, and third benchmark, as well as the fourth. Because now we dive into income center number 7, dynamic compression. Dynamic compression allows you to continue to earn 10 generations deep, unlimited generations in width. It begins by achieving the sapphire or higher rank. The generations payout on both the right and the left leg. It includes all spillover. But in a nutshell, your earnings are triggered because of what the lesser ranks leave on the table. You see, the only thing that I've ever known in life that motivates people that are not naturally motivated is fear of loss. And if somebody's leaving money on the table, this becomes a very driven ability to aspire to grow in rank, because it's going to be paid to the very first upline qualified rank above those people that have left income on the table. This is as powerful of a bonus as exists. As we take a look at this illustration, it may not sink in right away, but let's focus on those 3 red arrows. The one on the far left is pointing at you. You've achieved the gold rank. You can see the word you inside of there. As a gold rank, when you look at the grid, it enables you to earn on 3 generations of gold. Your position begins generation 1. You can see that there are 3 arrows. That would encompass a gold's 3 generation payout. But you have seen golds that have started to mature into your 4th, your 5th, your 6th, your 7th generation in this illustration. So the computer is going to look at your 4th generation and say, what is the first person who holds a rank above your rank that can get paid on the 4th generation? Well, that would be a sapphire. So that the percentage of your income based off of the revenue from that 4th generation is now going to get paid out to the first qualifier above you. You can see you've got a 5th, a 6th, and the 7th. Well, sapphire is not eligible to get paid on 5, 6, or 7 generations. So the computer will continue to track upwards, and it finds a triple diamond. And you can see those 3 green arrows pointing to that triple diamond, who's not only going to get their 9 generations, but they're going to actually pick up the dynamic compression from those 3 extra generations that you may have left on the table. But understand, the triple diamond gets paid 9 generations. So if you look in the bottom right-hand corner, you can see a green arrow going all the way to the top, because the red, blue, and black diamonds can pick up a 10th generation of dynamic compression. And thus you can see how dynamic compression works. And when this sinks in, we will turn heads. Income center number 8. Earning up to 4% on your greater leg revenue. I'm not going to take the time to go through the formula. It's in black and white. You'll be able to see this when you pause the slide and watching this video again, or if you happen to print out these slides. But in turn, calculate the possibilities. Calculate the possibilities. When you begin to do so, you'll realize that this is a bonus, a proven formula that is strong enough to attract anybody from any level of education and any level of income who wants to make a run at building a network marketing business and acquire tons and tons of users of the Got Backup product. When this sinks in, again, it's going to raise eyebrows and gain the attention of people who are looking at this compensation plan and having a big wow factor. We've covered a lot, and understand, as I've mentioned a couple times, all plans are going to look like a foreign language to the experts as well as the novices. So now we move into your rank grid. I'm only showing you half of the grid here. Why? Because I want to point out how important those 4 benchmarks happen to be. We take a look at benchmark number 1, achieving copper, 1 left and 1 right. You can see that as the first qualifier under placement. Then in addition to that, what you'll find is the second benchmark is to repeat it again. The reason we want you to repeat it again is look at the gold. From gold, platinum, sapphire, and all the ranks above it, your placement requirement is 2 left and 2 right, even at the highest rank. That's it. The third benchmark is having a personal enrollment tree of 25 or greater. So if we go look at gold, we can see that you can see that number 25. And you can also see the qualifier that you can account up to 50% maximum of that 25 from any single line of enrollment. That's why the word 25 or the number 25 is so important. Then you take a look at the fourth benchmark, having 10 or greater personal enrollments of active paid users of the product, whether they are a customer or they happen to be a reseller with an active paid membership. That's going to help you hit the qualifier for platinum, sapphire, and emerald. So those 4 benchmarks will bring you all the way to almost the 50% mark of all of the ranks that are available in the Got Backup compensation plan. And when we add in the rest of the rank grid, you'll see that if you continue to repeat those 4 benchmarks, it's going to allow you to grow and grow and grow in rank achievement. Because even if you take a look at the highest rank in the company, Black Diamond, and you look at the 2 middle columns that say number of copper per line of enrollment, it's all based on replicating that core rank of copper. And in the Black Diamond, to reach the top of the comp plan, it's 10 coppers in 10 different lines of enrollment. In my 32 plus years of network marketing, I have seen companies that have created so many obstacles to reach the top of their comp plans. But yet in this, we've made it simple so that if you engage in this business, if you're consistent, if you stay the course, that opportunity exists for you to move all the way to the top of the compensation plan, regardless of your level of experience in this industry. We are awfully excited about how we've been able to structure and financially model a comp plan that allows everybody equal opportunity. So those 4 benchmarks are key. Focus on those today. Focus on them in the future. Reaching gold, we're going to give you the tracking sheet, as well as in your back office, you're going to see a ribbon at the bottom of your page that's going to allow you to track your progress in the comp plan. And it is a really cool tool that the company has developed. Focus on the benchmarks. They're far more important than the details. At the end of the day, as we conclude this introduction, what I do know is that this business is based off of sound fundamental principles and real distribution. Unlike anything else that I've seen in network marketing since 1997, this is the first time that I have witnessed a product or service being delivered by a network marketing company that has an instant value proposition, no promotional activity, strictly real distribution with a retention rate in excess of 93%. That ability for you to grow a business sits in front of you. Take advantage of our compelling product and take advantage of our compelling compensation plan. This is Randy Ostrom in New Orleans, Louisiana, in the United States of America. Thanks for viewing this video.
So, folks, listen, I know some of you may feel, oh my God, there's too much here. Understand one thing, just a quick analogy. When you buy a car, do you try to understand the mechanic and every aspect of how the car functions? No. You have a fob, as long as it's around the car, press the button to start, and you basically steer around towards your destination, you'll get there. You do not need to understand how the motor functions. My point in saying is when Randy explains the 4 benchmark, we're going to talk about this over and over. And if you know me, over and over and again and again and again and again and again. It will not stop. We will continue doing that. So show up for the classes on Saturdays. Show up for the classes that your leadership are organizing for you. Show up for class. It's important. This is not a lottery ticket. You have to get to work, but they will reward you greatly for doing the work for something that everybody needs and everyone can afford. Tammy, do you have any comments before we pass it over to Randy?
Focus on the benchmarks, you guys. Keep it really, really simple. The simpler you create this platform, the faster your team is going to grow. You'll see. So make this happen yourself and help as many people get to these levels. Copper. That's it. Focus on that. And you'll get to gold and you'll keep going up the ranks and you'll be getting the bonuses and everybody's going to be celebrating each other along the way.
Please, Randy, go ahead if you have anything you want to add. Oh, you're
Very
muted.
special.
Okay.
Oh,
No, you're good. You're good now. Yeah.
okay. We need to give a special shout out to Joel, but also to Eve and Vitaly and Mike and the rest of the staff and all the programming. I mentioned this really, really quickly when I was talking about the tracking sheets. They have developed, I guess you call it a ribbon, that's going to sit towards the bottom of your back office, that's going to show you what you have knocked out in achieving a certain rank and what you need to do next to achieve the next rank or any other rank that you're aspiring to. It's brilliant. And when the time comes and they're ready to post it in our back office, when all the programming's done, that's going to just make life really easy for anybody and everybody who might, have a little bit of confusion relative to, looking at this for the first time. Like I said, all looks like a foreign language the first time even the experts look at things. So.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Randy. So, folks, as we close this session here, again, keep in mind, you're looking at this for the very first time and give yourself a chance to absorb the information. There's always a starting point. And like Randy mentioned in his video and verbally, is everything looks like a foreign language the first time. After that, you will absorb it. And when you start seeing your reports, which will be available in your GBU back office, you'll be able to see your report, where you qualify. This is where things are going to sink in because you'll be able to see real concrete data, which results that are showing on your report based on your understanding. Give yourself time. Don't prejudge this and thinking it's too complicated for me. You're going to miss the boat. Stay focused. Focus on the benchmarks, the basic principles. If I was you right now, here's what I would do. I would look on my business and I would say, okay, did I sponsor someone on my left team and someone on my right team? If not, go do that. Once you've done that, next step. Okay, I need to do this again. Another person on my left team, another person on my right team. Okay, perfect. Now you've done that. What's the next benchmark? And that's what you're going to do. You're going to repeat the process over and over and over. And by default, you don't need to understand everything. You're going to see a report and what you qualify for associated with the income that matches. That's what I recommend for you to do if you're a little bit taken back by the amount of information that's here. At the end of the day, it's a compensation plan that covers from A to Z. And you may not ready for Z yet, but there will be a time that if you can stay the course and you start getting paid on all these different benchmarks and all these different levels, eventually you're going to fully understand it because you'll be expecting. And again, I'm not answering any questions live here. I know, Ellis, you raise your hand. If you want to post a question in the Q&A, you have a few minutes before we finish here. And again, you can always post a message on the YouTube channel on that video. Post the questions there. We'll try to answer them. I know there's been a lot of messages that went by on our YouTube live. Unfortunately, folks, I'm a little overwhelmed. There's too much information coming in at the same time, so it's difficult to address them all. But rest assured that there's plenty of time for you to start. Just focus on these benchmark. And the other thing also I wanted to mention, in UK, regulations are tough. It's all over the world. And sometimes maybe I was a little rough when I said that they're out for blood. At the end of the day, they're trying to protect the consumers. The FTC are trying to protect the consumers. We know there's been abuse on the part of associates out there, overwhelming things and overinflating things and putting wolves in people's eyes without them fully understand what's going on so they can sign up. Okay. And that's what they're trying to protect. They're trying to protect the consumers. That's the bottom line. And at the end of the day, you follow the rules, follow the regulations. I'm telling you, everybody's going to be happy. And government wants you to make money because we pay taxes, right? So it's just a win-win. So I just wanted to address that. Let me just see what else is there. Deborah. Okay, Deborah, some of the questions that you have in reference to affiliate link, this is something that I recommend you address with the chat support or your upline leadership. That's the best way I would recommend, because we can start micromanaging those kind of details, but make sure that someone helps you there. And if not, just go to the Telegram group and we'll try to address that. And Randy, Tammy, is there anything else that you want to add as we end the session?
Just keep it simple. Honestly, this plan is doable for absolutely everybody who wants to make a difference. And support your teams. It's all about support. You know, when people sign up in this business, it's because they believe in you, right? So take care of your people, make sure that they go through the basics. And the more people you help get to copper, and then they'll go up the ranks, they build belief in themselves and they start to lead their teams. And then it starts to duplicate over and over and over again.
Randy?
Back up your devices, do a little personal development every day, move your pennies, and never miss any of the forums that we have every single week here with Got Backup, and just focus on those 4 benchmarks.
Wonderful. And folks, if you're watching this training and it came from someone's link, someone put the effort to make sure you have this information in front of you, get back to them and it will tell you what it's all about. So have yourself a great rest of your weekend, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.